What is a monster? A monster is a creature of fantasy, of imagination, of the heart, and of magic. An idea formed by our thoughts given life. Everything from the sunlight, the plants, the wind, the rivers, the earth itself merges its soil together around the idea, using alchemic forces to form a vessel for the idea, which becomes its soul, and therefore, you have a monster. Most monsters have different purposes depending on the idea. Some might create one for assistance in chores and jobs. Some might create them to give them their own lives. Some might create them just to have a friend. Lately, though, the monsters seem to be gaining full sentience and individuality. It has only recently been discovered that they can reproduce. Monsters don't need to mate to have children. Rather, they need to form an idea themselves, and use the true power of love to let nature's dust give it form and protect it inside an egg before the idea is fully realized. They have a power similar to our imagination, only rather than being able to do what they want like us, their power is more personalized and only works depending on the type of individual they are deep inside. As a result, the homunculus as it's being created in its egg adopts traits from its parent like we do, and sometimes multiple monsters can get together to form a homunculus, combining their traits in it and spreading them like genes, only mental instead of genetic. An idea that changes with other ideas and adapts into different cultures. A selfish gene, as one would put it. This leads to the biggest thing that separates monsters from all other living beings. They do not have a physical existence. Rather, they have a mental and emotional one. Due to being mere ideas given form, made completely out of magic and alchemy, they cannot physically feel anything like we do. They can't feel pain or softness, warmth or cold, nor rough or smooth, but they can feel the emotional impact of it. A punch in the face won't hurt them the same way it would hurt a child, but they will feel weak from the intent to inflict harm, and a hug won't give them its soft warmth, but the essence of love and protection would heal them. Think of how it feels to be in a dream as opposed to real life. In a dream, it's the illusion of feeling like you're there with your brain tricking you into thinking you actually feel something, despite it all being fantasy. That is what it's like to be a monster. In fact, due to this fundamental aspect of their existence, they cannot contract diseases like us. No flu, no aches, no colds. Instead, what we would consider mental illnesses act as their physical illnesses. Basic disabilities such as autism and ADHD are just as harmless to them as they are to us, only resulting in more unique abilities the individual monster can possess. Extreme cases of anger, sadness, and fear can lead to symptoms of basic sickness that require rest and self-care. Bigger ones like anxiety and depression are the equivalent to serious illnesses that need medical treatment. Severe conditions such as schizophrenia and PTSD are the equivalent to an incurable disease, like cancer, AIDS, and diabetes. And then we get the most extreme. Something like dementia, when a monster's memories and identity are melting away, when their very existence is shattering as they try to pull the pieces together. It's best to not think about it. Monsters do not have flesh and blood like we do. Instead, a cut results in a flash of magical light that fades into shadow. When a monster dies, it loses its color to signify its soul losing the thoughts and ideas that once gave it life. If the memories of those who knew it aren't passed down to it, or if a monster has lost the desire to live, the vessel turns darker and darker until it crumbles and returns to the dust of the earth. As the soul drifts off into endless nothing, well, it will either reincarnate into a different monster if the memories of its existence stays in the hearts of others, or it will fade away, and there's nothing left to give it life. Monsters have become their own individuals over the generations of their existence. We were once part of them, just as they are part of us all. Everything in our souls, from our memories, ideologies, hopes, and dreams, were the bones and blood of them. It used to be that they cannot exist without us, but now that they can pass their selfish genes into their own monsters, it's likely they don't need us anymore. We are slowly marching towards extinction with the wars and prejudices we hold against each other. But the monsters do not have such a concept of hate and greed in them. Perhaps the world would be a much better place with them as the dominant life instead of us. They can be at peace with each other when they develop a society with no war, and they will always stay an immortal species, so long as they keep their gifts bestowed by us. It's sad to think, but at some point, we all may have to say goodbye to our friends.